Okay, so we're going to start the reviews for the final. It's not going to be comprehensive. It's going to be mostly accentuating and emphasizing the exam one material. So the as far as your exam two and exam three material, we've got all those videos. We've got your 45 videos, 46 videos, and your all your review videos. So you've got ample stuff to use for the exam two and exam three material. What I want to focus on in this review for the final, so we'll call it a math 105 partial review for final. And we'll call it A because I'm probably going to have to do a couple of these. Okay, problem number one. What if you're faced with a problem that probably will say solve? If it says anything, it'll say solve. And it looks like this, 3 over something's on the bottom of the 3. Then there's an equal sign. And then then there's an x over here, and then something on the bottom. They have to be x minus 5. They don't always will be the same. But I worked it out with this particular type of problem. What's your first move? That's on your paper. That's it. What do? Your first move, cross multiply. Okay, so then 3 times x minus 5 equals x times x minus 5. X times the other x minus 5. We're cross multiplying. Okay, so it's x times x minus 5. What do I get? 3x minus 15 equals x squared minus 5x. I want 0. This is going to turn into a quadratic equation. I want 0 on the left-hand side. I prefer it on the right, but it's easier to get it on the left in this case. So I want 0 on the left-hand side. I do minus 3x, and I'm going to do 2 steps at a time, plus 15. That'll be gone. And if I do the same thing over here, minus 3x and plus 15, then I will be able to cross all of this out. It'll turn into a 0. What's this going to turn into? X squared stays where it is. Nothing happened with the x squared. The minus 5x and the minus 3x are minus 8x. And then the plus 15 tags along. So what do we have? We have a quadratic equation. Normally you have the equal 0 on the right, but let's get used to the equal 0 on the left because we'll save a little time that way, and we got to keep moving. Okay, so let's solve the riddle. What's the riddle? Two numbers, right? Here's my scrap paper. A times B is equal to 15, and the same A plus B is equal to the middle coefficient, negative 8. Negative 8. So what are the magic numbers? The magic numbers are negative 5 times negative 3 is equal to positive 15, and negative 5 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 8. Okay, so there's our magic numbers. So we have x minus, now I'm going to turn everything over from left to right, reading it normally. X minus 5 times x minus 3 is equal to 0. I can now solve. Set up the left equals 0 and the right equals 0. If I set up the left equals 0, I'm skipping a step. We've done this so many times. We find out that x equals 5. There's one answer. X minus 3 is equal to 0, plus 3 on both sides. X equals 3. And there's my second answer. And there we are with the problem number 1. Okay, let's see if we can have a little bit more of the paper on the bottom here and try to get a couple problems in here. The next problem is as follows. What if you just have to solve a plain old quadratic equation? Okay, I need to go upstairs. Sorry about that. I need to go upstairs. Here's upstairs. Problem number 2. Problem number 2. What if you've got x squared plus 8x minus 9 equals 0, just a regular quadratic equation problem. We can solve this through factoring. Magic numbers that a times b is equal to negative 9, and then the same a plus b is equal to the middle coefficient, 8. The magic numbers are positive 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. Positive 9 plus negative 1 is equal to 8. So what do we got? We've got x plus 9 times x minus 1 equals 0. Go into the t formation, set up that equals 0, and you get one answer, x equals negative 9. Set up that equals 0, and you get another answer, x equals 1, and this problem is over. So we've got room. Let's go to problem 3. What if you have, as follows, a more recent problem? What if you get an example where you're given negative 16x minus 11, negative 16x minus 11 over 6x plus 8, 6x plus 8, and you're asked the horizontal asymptotes and the vertical. But if there's more than one, just tell us. But the vertical asymptotes and the horizontal asymptotes. Okay, so I'm going to work on the vertical one first. That's the easier one. I think maybe put vertical asymptotes first and then horizontal asymptotes second. But I want to work on vertical asymptote first. That's the easier one. Take the denominator. It's easier in a sense, so you bear with me for a second. 6x plus 8. This happens to be the if you go look in your book, these are the last two videos that we did, 44 and 45. Video 44, I'm sorry, 45 and 46. These are the I apologize again. Video 44 and 45 is where you can find this material. Anyway, it's the stuff that's not on exam 3 but is on the final. So, what do you do for the vertical asymptote? I'm looking for the vertical asymptote right now. You take the denominator, 6x plus 8, set it up to 0, and let's go solve for x. Minus 8 on both sides. We get 6x is equal to negative 8, of course. Then, let me move up the paper. I keep forgetting to move up the paper early, which I really should. Okay. Anyway, there it is. So 6x minus 8 on both sides is equal to minus 8. Divide by 6 on the left. Okay, I want every piece of this I can get my hands on. Divide by 6 on the right. And we get x is equal to, after you reduce it, it's minus 4/3. There is the vertical asymptote, which is always going to be an x equals. That's a vertical line. What about the horizontal asymptote? Here's what you do. The horizontal asymptote. The horizontal asymptote, first you ascertain what's going on over here. Are they less than? Is the degree of exponent of the leading term. Are they equal? Are they one? Is the top greater than the bottom, or top less than the bottom? They're equal. So go back to that video. You'll see if they're equal, then what you split. Then the vertical asymptote turns into the horizontal asymptote, which is always going to be a y equals, turns into the top coefficient over the bottom coefficient of that leading term. So they are reducible. Whenever they are reducible, you must reduce them. So here comes our horizontal asymptote, and it is minus 8 over 3. There it is. So here's our vertical asymptote, and our horizontal asymptote is minus 8 over 3. There's our two asymptotes for this problem. Okay, we can certainly get at least one more problem on this paper. The problem is as follows. What do you do with a situation like this? Y to the second power. So that's not part of exam 1. I understand that. That's an exception to our review. That comes from the post-exam 3 material that's only on the final. We're back to exam 1 material. Y to the second to the 9/8 exponent. It's a fractional exponent. What do you do? Well, remember those rules. Power to a power you multiply. So this becomes, what is, if I go to scrap paper over here, if I go to scrap paper over here, what is 2? What is this? What is 2? It's the same thing as 2 over 1 times 9 over 8, right? 2 over 1 times 9, that's 18 over 8. 18 over 8 is 9 over 4. Or if I do it quickly, 2 goes into 2, 2 goes into 8 4 times, it's 9 over 4. Y to the 9/4 power. And this problem is over. So is this video. We've run out of room. So let's